Hey guys, we're doing it. We are halfway through this month. I mean, geez, the end of 2021 or the end of 2020 is upon us, and we have 2021 staring us right in the face. It's wild. I sit here in my office. I don't know where you are right now, but I've got windows all around me. And days like this, where it's wet, it's cold, it's gray, it just has me longing for some brighter, sunnier days. Um, I appreciate where we are, though. I appreciate this time to kind of put our heads down and start thinking ahead to next year. We've got the holidays upon us, good things hopefully coming up for you and yours, both personally and professionally. This week, I want to keep our theme going. I want to keep talking about this idea of goals and what we're going to achieve. Start looking ahead to next year while still hoping that you all finish this year strong. So, last week, we talked about goal setting, goal achieving. This week, I want to talk about the big value in small steps. I want to talk about this idea of how do we achieve our goals? How do we actually reach our goals? I mentioned it last week that everybody talks about goal setting and how to set goals and how do we make our goals, achievable and smart and all the other things we need to do with our goals. But I don't know, I've just had this thought in my mind all month about figuring out how to help my clients and how to help you figure more on how do we achieve the goals. I'm so sick of us setting the same goals year after year. I'm tired of setting these big goals and we have no idea how to achieve them. We have no idea how to get over the hump. So just all month, I've really had these thoughts around, well, how do I help people? How do I set you up to achieve your goals this year? So that in 2021, at the end, when we hit November and December, we don't have to set the same goals because we'll have achieved them. And then we can start looking ahead to some new stuff. So this week, it's all about the big value in small steps. And here's my question for you. When you think ahead to your goals, maybe it's your all of your goals for your business or one specific goal. When you think ahead to that, what is one small step you can take right now to get you closer, make that goal more likely to happen, right? Or what is the first small step that you're going to have to take once we break into the new year, once you really get started moving on that goal? And why small steps? So many of us create these big goals, we create these big ideas, but we don't know how to get there or we don't know where to start. So we get stagnant, right? Paralysis by analysis takes over. We get scared, fearful, or unsure of ourselves. So we have these huge goals out there, but we don't even get started. We don't even take that first step towards first base. And I want to make sure that you don't find yourself in that situation. So today, I just want to spend a few minutes talking about how do we break up some of those big goals into small steps. And I'm going to give you 3 ways to do it. But before I do that, I'll ask the question again. What is the first small step you can take? I would love to see you hit the comments. Whether you're watching this live or recorded, I would love to see you hit the comments. And tell me, what is that first small step you can take to really get your goal moving? So, why am I so fixated on this idea of achieving our goals instead of just setting them, instead of setting the perfect goal? Because it's what I do. For those that don't know me, I'm a business coach who helps professionals and entrepreneurs build the businesses and the lives they really want. Right? People engage with me, people hire me to achieve goals. Yes, setting them is one thing, defining what we're going after is one thing, but at the end of the day, it's about achieving the goals. Look, nobody's going to keep me on if they're not making progress, if they're not moving forward. So I'm hell bent on making sure that I do everything in my power to help my clients do what they want to do, to define where they want to go and really achieve those things. So that's why this idea has just consumed me this month about heck with setting goals. I'll take a imperfect goal that has a great plan, a great execution behind achieving it, rather than the perfect goal that we don't get anywhere with. So I want to give you 3 ways to break in your big goals into small steps. First, we can break them down by quantity, right? So a lot of my clients are producers. They're the sales reps out there. They are the business owners. They're responsible for bringing on new clients, driving new business, right? And to that end, a lot of them are starting to think about their goals next year and what they want to do, what they want to achieve in their business. So, as an example, let's think about, somebody who said, hey, I want to add $100,000 to the bottom line. Like I want to bring $100,000 in new volume into the business, right? I want to get paid on that commission, whatever that looks like. Well, if we're thinking about how do we break that goal down by quantity, then we just start working backwards, right? If you're one of these people, you know what a deal is worth, right? You know what it's going to take to, how many deals you're going to have to close to get to that $100,000 in new revenue, right? So we work backwards and we say, well, how many deals am I going to have to add to what I did this year to hit that goal next year? And if I know how many deals that is, then okay, well, how do I drive deals? How do I get in front of the right people? How many calls do I make? Right? How many visits do I have to make? How many of what do you need to do to achieve that big goal? So instead of it just being this kind of fuzzy, I want $100,000 added to my sales numbers, it's what are the very specific things? What's the quantity of something that we have to do in order to get there? Right? So that's a real easy way. Break down these big goals by backing into the quantities, the numbers of what it's going to take to achieve them. Right? Another way we can do this is by breaking down our goals by time. Right? So, you know, 2020 has been a weird year. It's been a weird year for all of us, and a lot of our businesses have had to change in how we're going to market. I've got clients that have built careers, have built businesses on this idea that they're going to go out, they're going to shake hands, they're going to go to events, they're going to attend conferences, they're going to do all these things. And that's how they're getting the word out about what they're doing and how they're doing it. And then all of a sudden, events disappeared. Conferences and trade shows went away. Nobody's having coffees and lunches anymore the way they used to. So, some of them have goals that they want to take the marketing of their business or a lot of what they do to drive new revenue online. They've got to shift from this, I build my business in person, to I build my business online, right? And when we think about breaking it down by time, one of the ways they're thinking about doing that is, well, I want to drive more leads through my digital channels. So let's say that's a goal you had. You want to drive more leads this year through your digital channels because you're not meeting people for lunch and coffee and all the places where you used to get leads from. So how do we do that, right? Social media makes sense. It's natural. So when we're thinking about how do I break down those big goals, if I have a goal of driving more leads through digital channels and I'm looking at it through a time lens, then the smaller step we can take right here, maybe I want to commit to a half hour of engaging online, right? That might be creating a post, that might be recording a video like this one. It might be answering comments and responding to people, right? And maybe you're spending time on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook, wherever your audience is. But by making that commitment to say it's going to be a half hour every day, Monday through Friday, you're going to be closer to achieving that goal. It's going to move you towards this idea of driving more leads. So no longer is it this ambiguous goal of, I just want to drive more leads. I want to drive more revenue from online sources, but it's, no, I'm going to commit to a half hour every single day to move that forward, right? To execute and achieve the end result, which is more online revenue. So last is probably the simplest, and it has components of the first and second idea, but it's, instead of just looking at that one big goal, let's really break it down by the steps. I want us to get used to breaking our goals apart. So many people I talk to tell me that they can really clearly define what their goal is. But when I ask them how they're going to achieve it or what they have to do first, their language gets fuzzier. And my clients know it, especially those that know me know it. I listen really closely to the language people use, right? Because I want to hear how confident you are. It's one thing to tell me you want to make an extra $100,000. It's another thing to be able to tell me how you're going to do it, right? Well, what's first? What's the next thing you have to do that is going to lead to you achieving that goal, right? And then people get fuzzy. And then what happens after that and after that and after that? So I want us to get used to, yeah, set the big goal, be ambitious and go after it. But let's make sure we understand how to break these things down into smaller action steps. Let's set smaller goals along the way that we can get out in front of, that we can achieve, check off, build momentum by staying consistent, right? A lot of the work I do is all about building momentum through consistency. A lot of the people that I work with are entrepreneurs. They run their businesses. And, as just kind of to make this idea tangible, let's say they had a goal of, I want to bring on 2 people that are just rock stars, right? I want to hire just 2 people that can really move this business forward and help me achieve the vision I have in this next year, right? Makes sense. We all innately say, yeah, that sounds good. Bring on a VP of this or director of that or salesperson or whatever that person may be in your business. But how does that happen, right? It's one thing to have a goal of bringing on these 2 rock stars. It's something else entirely to figure out how to do it. So by breaking it down into smaller steps, we start teasing out the idea that we have to write a job description that truly captures what we're after, right? And that's not a formality. What is that thing we have to do? How do we have to describe the opportunity to make sure we're getting the kind of person we want? Right? And then we have to market that job. How are we going to get out there? Where are we going to put this job description? How are we going to get this in front of the eyes of the people we want to bring into our organization? And then how are we going to tap into our network? You see, all of these things are smaller pieces of that bigger goal. And with each, we set these smaller goals and then we go about achieving them. We should be able to get that job description done in a week and it's on to the next and on to the next and on to the next. And again, that's how we build momentum, by consistently knocking out these smaller goals. Right? So that's what I want to share. I love this time of year because we're all thinking ahead. We're thinking about 2021. We're leaving the fog, the haze, the uncertainty of 2020 behind us. Right? Lots of good things are happening around everything from what's going on from a vaccine standpoint to there's just a lot of hope and optimism about things and opportunities showing up that we didn't see quite enough of in 2020. So as we make this turn, let's get ambitious. Let's think about our goals, but let's figure out what the smaller steps are that are going to help us achieve them. Again, I don't want this to be the year of goal setting. I want it to be the year of goal achieving. So with that being said, hopefully this video was helpful for you. If it was, let me know. Hit the comments. Chime in. Let's make this a conversation. Tell me what's going on in your head. Tell me what goals you're achieving, and let's start that dialogue. You'd be amazed by the support that can come through some of these online communities. Speaking of communities, jump in with me on Facebook. So I launched a Facebook group a while back called Business Your Way with Daryl Sweeney. And it's just an open space where people can talk about what's going on. I ask questions, we challenge each other, we support each other. So look for that on Facebook and jump in and join me. If you know somebody who is thinking about goals, who's thinking about what you have in front of you, tag them in the comments. Let them know that these videos are out there, these resources are out there, and make sure you're always getting them. So jump online. My website's darylsweeney.com, and make sure you get my emails. Make sure you're getting the content. Make sure you're getting the resources that I send out. And lastly, I'll just say this. If you're thinking about goals, if you're thinking about where you want to go next year, if you're thinking about how to make 2021 different, better, next level, anything like that, hit me up. I'd love to talk to you and hear about what you have going on. And if there are challenges or things you've faced that you're not quite sure how to get over, hit me up. I would love to work with you on those kinds of things. I do it with my clients every day. So with that, I will wish you guys a fabulous end of the week. We have amazing holidays right around the corner. We've got a new year right around the corner. So I hope to keep building momentum as we catapult into 2021. See you guys next time.